Shocking psychological facts about women. Once you understand them, you'll never see women the same way again. Women are fascinating, unpredictable, and full of contradictions. One moment, they say they want a nice guy. The next, they're chasing the one who treats them like an afterthought. Ever felt like no matter what you do, you're always one step behind, trying to decode what they really mean? You're not crazy, and you're definitely not alone. The truth is, most men go through life completely blind to how women actually think. But here's what separates the few who thrive from the many who struggle. Understanding. Because psychology never lies, and neither does reality. Women operate on instincts shaped by evolution, society, and emotions they themselves often can't explain. And if you don't know how this game is played, you are the game. But knowledge is power. And the ancient Stoics understood this better than anyone. They saw through illusions, focused on reality, and mastered control over themselves instead of being controlled by others. So today I'm pulling back the curtain and revealing 29 shocking psychological facts about women. Things most men will never understand. Watch until the end, because once you do, you'll see women and the world through a completely different lens. Before we dive in, take a moment to subscribe if you're ready to transform how you handle relationships using the power of Stoicism. Every video is a step toward mastering your mindset and building stronger, more meaningful connections. Let's start with something unexpected. Kissing isn't just romantic, it's a natural painkiller. It numbs physical pain, eases stress, and even has the power to alter emotions. And here's one that'll blow your mind. 95% of women get turned on when men suck their fingers. It's primal, subconscious, and deeply wired into female psychology. Most men don't even realize it. But let's take it deeper. Ever noticed how cheaters assume everyone cheats? And liars think the whole world is full of lies? That's not a coincidence. It's psychological projection. People reveal who they are by accusing others of doing exactly what they do themselves. And here's where things get interesting. Men are naturally drawn to women who radiate confidence. Not just those who feel good about themselves, but women who project unshakable certainty. It's the same reason weak men obsess over validation, while strong men command respect without saying a word. Confidence isn't just attractive, it's power. Now, brace yourself for this one. About 7% of women have had an orgasm triggered by menstrual cramps. Sounds insane, right? But biology doesn't care what you think. It just does what it's wired to do. And speaking of the mind, if your thoughts constantly drift away, there's an 85% chance you're unhappy with your life. That's not just a random stat. It's a reflection of inner dissatisfaction. But here's the kicker. Women are instinctively drawn to men who actually listen. Not the guys who nod along waiting for their turn to speak, but the ones who remember details without needing to be reminded. Despite what society tells you, men crave physical touch just as much as women do. Hugging, feeling a woman's warmth, that sense of connection. It's not just something she enjoys, it's wired into our biology. But here's the difference. For men, it's often about peace, comfort, and grounding. For women, it's about security and reassurance. And speaking of things most men overlook, confidence speaks in silence while insecurity never stops talking. Ever noticed how the loudest guys in the room, the ones always bragging about their money, their status, or their so-called success, are usually the weakest? Meanwhile, the men who actually have power move quietly. They don't need to prove anything because they are something. Now let's talk about heartbreak. Because men suffer way more than they let on. Studies show that after a breakup, men feel more emotional pain than women. Why? Because society tells men to man up, to push their emotions down, to move on like nothing happened. But in reality, that pain lingers. It cuts deeper because men are taught to bottle it up instead of process it. Women cry, vent, and get support from their friends. Men, they suffer in silence. Here's some tough love. If everyone likes you, you have a serious problem. Think about it. Men who try to please everyone end up pleasing no one. Why? Because they have no real identity. They mold themselves to fit in, to avoid conflict, to be the nice guy everyone approves of. But the truth is, strong men polarize people. The more you stand firm in who you are, the more some people will respect you. The more others will hate you. and that's a good thing. Now, here's something to keep in mind. A woman who has been with another man might have a slightly different smile. Psychologists suggest that it's subtle, but it's there. Maybe it's a flicker of guilt. Maybe it's an unconscious sign that she's hiding something. You don't have to accuse, you just have to observe. And if people who don't even know you hate you, take it as a sign. It means you're standing for something. It means you're doing something right. Weak men crave validation. Strong men earn respect. And the best revenge in life? Massive success. Let's get one thing straight. Loyalty isn't proven when someone is standing in front of you. It's proven when you're not around to hear what they're saying. A lot of people will smile to your face, pretend to have your back, but the second you walk away, they reveal who they really are. Actions mean nothing if they don't hold up when no one's watching. Here's a pro tip that'll save you from a lot of unnecessary drama. Stop oversharing. Most people don't actually care about your struggles, and a good portion of them are secretly hoping to see you fail. The more you talk, the more ammunition you give them. Keep your circle tight, your plans quiet, and let your results do the talking. And since we're keeping it raw, let's address something funny. If a woman keeps glancing at your package, she's probably wondering about its size. Yeah, it happens more often than you think. Women are just as curious as men, but they're more subtle about it, so no need to overanalyze. Just take the compliment and move on. Now here's a fact that might make you appreciate your nightly activities a little more. A single sex session burns around 100 calories. But here's where it gets interesting. For men, just one orgasm a day has been linked to a reduced risk of prostate cancer. That's right. Science actually backs up what most men instinctively already knew. It's a win-win for pleasure and health. But don't get it twisted. Not all pleasure is good for you. There's a fine line between indulgence and addiction in a world where cheap dopamine is everywhere. Social media, porn, junk food. Most men are chasing instant gratification instead of real fulfillment. The men who learn to control their impulses, they dominate in every aspect of life. All right, I gotta know. What's the most shocking fact you've heard so far? Seriously, drop a comment below and tell me which one blew your mind the most. Or better yet, let's see who's really paying attention. Comment, psychology never lies, if you're still watching. Let's flood the comments and see how many of us are actually learning something new today. I'll be reading and replying to as many as I can. Ever noticed a woman putting on fresh makeup and perfume after a long day at work? It's not always about feeling good or freshening up. It could be a lot more calculated than that. Maybe she's covering up what you don't know, making sure no one can tell where she's been or who she's been with. The truth is, some women are masters of playing the game. They know how to hide things in plain sight. And if you're not paying attention, you could miss the signs. And here's something I need to get off my chest. Respect the people who tell you the truth even when it cuts deep. The ones who are willing to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, are the ones who actually care. Everyone else? They'll sugarcoat things to keep you comfortable. But that's not the real world. The truth will hurt, but it will set you free. Now here's a wild fact that will change your perspective on life. Having sex at least 3 times a week can make you look up to 7 years younger. Yeah, you heard me. Forget expensive creams or anti-aging treatments. Sex is your natural anti-aging hack. It keeps your body sharp, your mind clear, and your confidence high. So, what's stopping you? It's not just about pleasure, it's about looking and feeling like the best version of yourself. And here's the brutal reality. The way you see yourself in the mirror is the reality you'll accept. If you look at yourself and think you're just okay, guess what? You'll stay just okay. But if you step up, if you embrace the grind and start owning your confidence, then you'll realize the true power of being unapologetically yourself. Confidence isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling good in your skin. And that starts with being honest with yourself. No one else can give you the validation you need. Be a good listener. Let your ears do the talking, because your mouth, that's a whole other story. If you've been around long enough, you'll know, the more you talk, the more you risk exposing yourself. Whether it's your insecurities, your weaknesses, or just putting your foot in your mouth. The truth is, Silence is power. The best men understand this. It's not always about what you say, but what you don't say that defines you. So listen more and talk less. Your words will have more weight when you choose them wisely. Now let's dive into something that might make you look at women a little differently. Did you know that women with larger breasts tend to have higher estrogen levels? That means their bodies are signaling a higher level of fertility, and that's something that nature has programmed into us. It's not just about what you see on the surface, there's biology at play here. Some even say that the size of a woman's breasts can give clues about the size of other parts of her body. It's fascinating, right? What you see is only a small part of the picture. Here's another truth. And it's not pretty, but it's the way the world works. Men are naturally drawn to younger women. It's instinct, rooted deep in our evolutionary past. Younger women in their prime tend to be more sensual, more in touch with their femininity, and yes, often more shy. And that mystery? It's magnetic. They're the type of women who leave you wondering what's going on behind their eyes. And that, my friend, is the kind of woman who can grab your attention and hold it. And speaking of age, here's a brutal reality that most won't tell you. If a woman goes too long without sex, she might actually age faster. Sounds crazy? But science has got the receipts. When a woman isn't engaging in a healthy sexual life, her body starts to age faster. The hormones start to shift, and everything slows down. It's the truth we don't talk about enough, but it's real. That's why staying active in every area of your life, including your love life, isn't just about pleasure. It's about keeping everything working at its peak. So if you want to age gracefully, stay sharp and keep your game on point. Don't overlook the basics. Keep your mind sharp, your body strong, and your interactions with women real. Don't settle for less. In this world, only the strong survive. And that starts with embracing the truth, no matter how brutal it may be. Public speaking is the #1 fear for most people, even more terrifying than death itself. Think about that for a second. The idea of standing in front of a crowd, being judged, analyzed, or even ridiculed, it's enough to make most men break into a cold sweat. But you know what that really means? The ability to speak with confidence is one of the most powerful weapons a man can have. When you command a room, when your voice carries weight, when your words demand respect, you automatically rise above the crowd. And in this world, that's the difference between being invisible and being a man worth noticing. Now let's talk about something that goes even deeper than words, instincts. Ever wonder why so many men are naturally drawn to women with bigger butts? It's not just a preference, it's hardwired into your biology. Studies show that a well-proportioned lower body signals higher fertility and better physical health. And on a subconscious level, men pick up on that, whether they realize it or not. Your brain is constantly scanning for signs of vitality, health, and potential for strong offspring. You might think it's just about attraction, but at its core, it's pure evolutionary survival. But let's not get it twisted. Sex isn't just about pleasure. It's a form of communication, a bond that strengthens the connection between a man and a woman. In a committed relationship, sex builds intimacy, trust, and emotional depth. When it's done right, it's more than just physical. It's a reflection of power, control, and even dominance. A strong man understands this. The way you handle yourself in the bedroom is often a mirror of how you handle yourself in life. Weak men fumble, hesitate, and seek approval. Strong men lead, and women respond to that energy in ways they don't even realize. And here's something most men don't think about. Almost all women crave validation before getting intimate. If you think skipping the compliments, teasing, or the romantic build-up doesn't matter, you're dead wrong. Women live for attention, admiration, and feeling desired. That's why the men who understand how to make a woman feel wanted, not just physically, but emotionally, are the ones who always have the upper hand. The secret? Control the mind, and the body follows. But let's get one thing straight. Forcing yourself on a woman is the lowest, most disgraceful thing a man can do. A woman's dignity and self-respect are everything to her. And the second you violate that, you're not a man. You're just a weak, pathetic excuse for one. Real men don't take. They attract. They create an aura of confidence, strength, and certainty that makes women want to submit naturally. And when a woman chooses you out of genuine desire, that's when you truly win. Because at the end of the day, a king doesn't beg for loyalty. His presence commands it. At the end of the day, understanding women isn't about control. It's about wisdom. The more you observe, the more you realize that attraction, psychology, and human nature all follow patterns. And as a man, your power comes from mastering yourself first. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and emotions. Women, relationships, and even the way the world sees you. Those are external factors. If you chase validation, you'll always be at the mercy of others. But if you build yourself, your mind, your strength, your purpose, you won't need to chase. You will attract. So take these insights, use them wisely, and remember, a true Stoic doesn't react. He observes, understands, and moves with purpose. Control your mind, and everything else falls into place. And there you have it, 29 shocking psychological facts about women. Some of these really make you see things differently, don't they? But trust me, there's so much more to uncover. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more eye-opening topics like this. Thanks for watching.